These burdens are damaging the wealth of Britain and damaging actually the amount of extra tax you could collect.
A 22,000-page tax code, phone wait times nobody tolerates, billion-pound disputes still unresolved after more than a decade. And then one MP asked the question many people have quietly wondered for years, does anyone actually understand this system anymore?
I think bully people using this wretched rulebook, which has got more loose ends than a plate full of spaghetti.
What happens next in this hearing becomes increasingly difficult to ignore, especially when even committee members begin hinting that the system may be too bloated to function properly. Stay to the end, because some of these admissions are more revealing than they first appear.
I think we're looking at quite a soft target in big businesses. I think most of the tax you're not collecting is not coming from big businesses, it's coming from small businesses, and particularly businesses like Turkish barbers and vape shops that you're doing absolutely nothing about. In the report, only 49% of large businesses surveyed by HMRC in 24 agreed that the administrative burden relating to tax compliance was reasonable. That means 51% thought it was unreasonable. So why do you think that is?
I'll kick us off if I may. So the last large business survey, you're absolutely right that 49% felt that the administrative burden of the UK tax system was reasonable. It was 29% that felt it was unreasonable. The balance didn't comment.
51% weren't entirely convinced it was.
Yeah. So
questions on this. It takes you 26.5 minutes to answer your telephones, what it did in 24/5, whereas it took the DWP 8 minutes in 24/5 to answer theirs, which I think says a lot about the people paying the tax to the people who are being handed out the tax that's being collected. So why is it that, and again, when you're trying to sort an issue out, it doesn't help when you don't answer your telephones. Yeah. So why can't you get that right?
Average speed of answer at the moment is about 7 minutes. I agree with you. I think, is it 24, 25?
I've done it myself, and sometimes I give up, like a lot of people do. So they waste a lot of time, and that costs money.
Yeah, so we regret that, of course.
Are you going to improve that, or is that a priority?
It is a priority, and it is improving. Our average speed of answer, as I say, in March, April, May, has been single digits below 10 minutes. That is halved on what it was a year ago. We are on track. We'll write to the committee ahead of our annual report once we finalise the outturned data, but we look set to have hit our telephony standard for the first time in 5 years.
You don't know your own rule book. Your staff turnover is massive, and very often your staff don't understand the rule book either. That's my experience of it. And when you drill down and you see you've got 200 tax manuals totaling 80,000 pages, and the UK tax code is 22,000 pages in 2 volumes, and you use your larger covenant effectively. You have the taxpayer behind you. Businesses don't. They actually have to make profits and pay taxes. But you actually, I think, bully people using this wretched rulebook, which has got more loose ends than a plate full of spaghetti.
Well, if it can be slimmed down, we want to slim down.
But
we also want
to
slim
it down, do you, Johnson?
Well,
I don't think it gets slimmed down. Do you know how long the Hong Kong tax code is?
No, I don't.
500 pages. So, I mean, we've got 22,000 pages.
That you're spending 31 million a year on loan charge compliance, and you've only settled 52 million of a total 1.7 billion tax liability to date. So how can you give us assurance that the approach you're taking is value for the taxpayer?
If I look overall in terms of settlements with employers and individuals of disguised remuneration schemes more generally, that has brought in 4.4 billion in terms of revenue to the Exchequer.
Their cases are taking significantly longer. I thought I'd misread this figure, 97 months from 2024, 25, that's a long time. What work are you doing to bring that number down?
We're increasingly using alternative dispute resolution as a mechanism to try and avoid litigation, which is...
I'm not clear on how that will help bring that number down. Or are you saying that it's not likely to come down?
If it's taken 10 years to reach the point where you're saying we think a review is a good idea, and it's going to take another year to conclude that review, isn't this an incredibly glacially slow way of working? One of HMRC's biggest ongoing tax disputes, and again, this is all in the public domain, is with the UK oil giant Glencore, which I believe is a 15-year-long running tax dispute between Glencore and HMRC, with around £1.5 billion at stake in terms of potentially owed tax. And again, that's, of course, in the public domain. I suppose what I would be keen to glean from officials, if possible, is whether or not you feel that actually this case is ever going to be settled.
We cannot talk about the case at all.
Is there any reassurance you can provide to this committee that such a significant amount of money that is currently being considered, and the fact that that dispute has been going on for such a long time, is there any reassurance that you can give this committee that that dispute will be concluded in the near future?
I don't think my team can comment on this case in this public domain in this way.
Which have been going on since I had a full head of hair and no GCSEs. But here I am now as Member of Parliament, and this is a dispute that's still ongoing. It is that actually HMRC did not in any way inadvertently walk into a sweetheart deal because of the way that it conducted those investigations.
The legal duty that relates to taxpayer confidentiality is, at the heart of our charter. And it pertains to all individuals and all companies, including if information is in the public domain. So we cannot offer public commentary at any time.
The follow-up from that is when it all goes horribly wrong in 3 years' time and you're coming back and we're asking you why. I think it's more, we're keen in this committee that we get that honest engagement, because we get how...
I think this transformation is highly ambitious. I think it's high risk. It's very complex with a lot of dependencies. I currently judge it amber. I think it's feasible. I need lots of support from anyone I can get my hands on to keep it on track. So, for example, keeping the scope as stable as possible, trying to avoid new scope, more shocks, disruptions, whatever.
These burdens are damaging the wealth of Britain and damaging actually the amount of extra tax you could collect.
Whatever side you take on taxation, one thing became clear here. Frustration with the system is growing inside and outside Parliament. Share your thoughts in the comments and follow for more political debates shaping public trust right now.